Oh, yes. Boys and girls, men and women, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that covers everybody. I'm back. No hook so far. I mean, the management tries to storm in from time to time, but the extraordinary producer and I, we have the doors barricaded, the windows barricaded. You're not getting in. No hook today. Too good of a show lined up. Yesterday was fantastic. After the show, I went and played golf. An awful day on the golf course. But it was all redeemed last night when the Tar Heels were defeated by Miami Hurricanes in basketball. So that redeemed the day for me. And the fact that Duke won their game against Pitt. So if you go to the live feed and look at the Martha Zoller Show, the live feed, Access WDUN on YouTube, you can see me wearing my Duke hat once again. All right. We've got a great show. By the way, yesterday's show, when I've said all that to say this, when I went to the golf course yesterday, several of my golfing buddies had been listening to the show as they were coming to play golf, and they really did like it. Even one of them, my friend, asked me, hey, do you think we should have transgender tees on the golf course? I don't know. But if we did, and they were closer than the tees I play now, I'd use them. And I see those hands of all those golfers out there. I know you would too. All right, let's get the kiddos in here. I love to start with the children. They're going to do a good job. Cue it up, Mr. Producer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good, very good. There's always that one child. Can you hear that one child in there? That one child is about a line behind. I take it that child hasn't memorized the pledge yet, and so that one child is like a line behind. But to the child's credit, he or she gets through it just fine. All right, well, today, yesterday we talked about the transgender hoax, and it was a tough topic. It's a hard topic. I know some of you probably had some heartburn from that topic as I shared the truth yesterday about the transgender hoax. This week, as we close out this week, tomorrow and Friday, I'm going to share some other hoax. Is it hoax or hoaxes? I don't know. What is it, producer?
I think it's just hoax in general. I think it's a singular one that you can use for multiple ways.
Just say hoax.
Just go with hoax.
Okay, we'll go. I'm going to talk about several hoax. Not folks. and climate change and socialism. I'm going to talk about that this week. But today, I'm going to jump on a very, I think, important topic, controversial. But, as I say, I'm going to inform you. I'm going to occasionally entertain you. But I will always tell you the truth. And today, I'm going to talk to you about reparations. Reparations. That's when you give people, other people's money for things that other people did to some of their people. Did you follow all that? So let's talk about reparations for a moment. 770-535-2911 if you'd like to get in on the conversation. 770-535-2911 is the number. So let's talk about it. In Illinois, there is a city that is named, Evanston, Illinois. And this particular city has just approved, Evanston, has just approved 44 black people to receive $25,000 in cash reparation payments. Now, that's not a plan. That's not something they're thinking about doing. That's something they've done. They've already notified the 44 black people that they will be receiving in the mail soon a $25,000 cash payment. This comes from the city's reparations committee. Now, you may not have heard about it, but this committee was established in 2019. It was approved by the City Council in 2021. The program issues $25,000 to black residents and descendants of black residents who lived in Evanston between 1919 and 1969. I thought the Civil War was a little before that. Evanston was the first city in the nation to pass this reparations plan. They are pledging $10 million to give to black residents. Now, these payments are intended to cover housing expenses, but I don't see anywhere in this article written by Joshua Nelson that says that there's any strings attached. The city manager has informed these 44 black people that they will receive these payments, and according to the memo, the fund has received $276,000 from Evanston's real estate transfer tax. Now, understand this. We were told many years ago, when all this started, that these reparation payments would come from donations of generous people. It wouldn't be tax money. No, it's just going to be donations. People are going to contribute to a fund, and then they'll pay it out to the black people. But that's not the case. Because actually what's happening is that this particular amount of money comes from not generous donors, but from sales tax and real estate tax money. This is why Judicial Watch has filed a lawsuit. I don't think it's legal. This is my opinion. I don't think it's legal under various equal protection clauses, especially the 14th Amendment, to give one group of people something and not another group of people something solely on the basis of your color. I don't believe that's legal. And yet that's exactly what's happening with this reparations. Now, here is the governor, the mayor of Chicago, in my opinion. Well, I'm not even going to get into that because it doesn't matter what I think about him. I don't believe he is a person of very high capacity. Can I just say that? But here he is talking about this reparations, and he happens to disparagingly speak about Clarence Thomas, by the way. Catch that. And I'm going to come back and tell you more about reparations in just a minute. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Martha LaLaura Show. Take a listen to this clip.
Judicial Watch is suing the city of Chicago over its reparations task force, saying that it's discriminatory by race when you said it wouldn't just benefit blacks, especially foundational black Americans. Doesn't deviation from recently supported case law to institutions of higher learning, where Clarence Thomas laid out a legislative package, make the program unnecessarily vulnerable, status by race versus status by injured class?
Yeah, I'm not aware of anything that Clarence Thomas has ever done that has benefited black people.
Well, I just told you.
I mean, you read something, but there's no evidence that anything that the justice has ever done on behalf of the interests of black people or even marginalized people in general.
Well, it's in his concurrent opinion, but anyway.
We got it.
But as far as, any lawsuit against the city of Chicago as it relates to reparations, the whole point of reparations is to repair the harm that was done to black folks. That's what it's designed to do. As you might know, Department of Justice, under the leadership of Donald Trump, is also suing the city of Chicago because of our efforts to right the wrongs of the past, particularly as it relates to descendants of slaves.
I've heard enough. This guy, in my opinion, is an idiot. He's a racist, in my opinion. I mean, first of all, why do you want to disparage Clarence Thomas? Clarence Thomas simply interpreted the law. He's saying you can't discriminate based on race. You have to look at the injured parties. And by the way, Mr. mayor, Mr. Reparations Mayor? What about the free black people who owned black slaves? Are they going to pay? Oh, you didn't know about that. Maybe I should do a show on that this week about the truth about slavery. There were free black people who owned black slaves in this country and in other parts around the world. What about them? Let me just tell you something about these reparations. Reparations in this context is immoral. It's immoral to require people to pay this kind of money to make up crimes of someone else's ancestors. Can I explain this to you? No one in my family ever owned a single slave, to my knowledge. And many people in my family were way back in the tree, would be considered lower middle class, scratching out a living, barely getting by. And descendants of those people, i.e. me, have got to pay for slaves who were owned by wealthier people than me. And that's justice? And may I also say something else to the mayor and to all of you who might support reparations? Can I just say this to you? Are you listening? Maybe we should go back to 70 AD when the Romans killed Jews and ran them out of what is now considered Palestine in the Middle East area, burnt down Jerusalem. Maybe we should somehow find descendants of the Romans and force them to pay Jews today for the harm they did. I'm telling you, this is just something that doesn't need to be. We don't need this in this country. Reparations is only something that's going to further divide our people. It makes people upset. It does. And there is no moral reason why a person today should pay another person today for sins committed by ancestors 100 years ago or longer. You do understand, right? You do understand that many people have been driven out of various countries and have faced certain hardships and prejudices. Many people. Nearly every group in the country has been harmed by another group. Do you not know that? Think about it. Nearly every group in this country has been harmed by some other group. Are we going to pay them all? And while I'm on the subject, let me just go ahead and be completely candid. We've already paid reparations. Reparations have already been paid around 1863, 4, and 5, and 7 about, when hundreds of thousands of white people shed their blood to end slavery. They don't get any credit for that. I'm going to come back when we take this break. I'm not done with this. You can call me, 770-535-2911, 770-535-2911, or text me. I'm not done with this topic yet. You're listening to Tom Smiley on the Martha Zoller Show. We'll be right back.
All the updates on the way home.
Afternoons move faster with the essential updates you need.
Your show is just so informative.
It's The Drive at 5, weekdays on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Discover what makes business thrive in our community at the Greater Hall Chamber Business Showcase, Tuesday, February 24th from 2 until 7 at the Gainesville Civic Center. Meet over 50 local exhibitors showcasing the products and services that power Gainesville and Hall County. The event is free and open to the public, and at 5 o'clock, join us for the new Showcase Social with local light bites and networking. Make plans to attend the Greater Hall Chamber Business Showcase. Find all the details at greaterhallchamber.com.
Rise and shine with M&R Equipment and Rental. Your project success is our first job of the day. Whether it's landscaping, construction, or home renovation, we've got your back with our wide range of high-quality tools and equipment. We make starting your day easy. Simply pick your tool, choose your rental period, and get down to business. No job is too big or small. From saws to skid steers, we've got you covered and at prices that won't break your budget. Visit us at mnrrental.com. We're here to help you build a brighter tomorrow.
You wouldn't want someone you couldn't trust working on your family's HVAC and plumbing, so why would you call anyone but Gainesville Mechanical? They're your local, most trusted and award-winning HVAC and plumbing company in North Georgia. From maintenance appointments and clogged drains to plumbing emergencies and new system installations, their team is ready to serve you. And with their customer assurance maintenance plan, you can receive discounts, priority scheduling, and 24/7 no overtime rates. Gainesville Mechanical and Bryant, doing whatever it takes since 1989.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Are you a fraud-paying American? 1 in 4 tax-paying Americans have been victim of identity fraud. With LifeLock, your identity, if it's stolen, they fix it guaranteed or your money back. And last year, billions in refunds were stolen. Could be from your salary, overtime, or second job. Gone. But this year, you don't need to stay a victim. Because this tax season, fraud-paying American is something no American should have to claim. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms do apply.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, a small fire near the dumpster area outside of Gainesville Civic Center evacuated the building Tuesday afternoon. Details at Access WDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Welcome back to the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley, and we're talking on this first segment or two about reparations, because we just understand through this story written by Joshua Nelson, published yesterday, that Evanston, Illinois, is going to be issuing $25,000 cash payments to 44 black people in the form of reparation payments. Already there's been paid over $276,000 from this same reparations fund over the last several years. $275,000+. I know this makes some of you uncomfortable. I get that, but you have to talk about it. Why can't we talk about it? Am I not allowed to talk about it because I'm a white person? Of course I can talk about it. Of course I can tell you the truth about it. If you want to share your opinion, call me, 770-535-2911. I'll put you on the air. 770-535-2911. Or text me your thoughts. I'll do my best to read them clearly. But what I want to understand is that black people as well as white people have benefited. They have benefited from, economically, from slavery over the years, black and whites. And what about the argument that reparations have already been paid in the form of welfare benefits and racial preferences that have earlier existed in this country? I mean, I've already got one text from someone today, and this texter says, well, maybe we should go back and, if we're going to pay reparations now, maybe we should go back and pay the white people who were harmed by affirmative action back in the day. You know, when you didn't get the job or the promotion or the education because of your color, because preference was given to someone else just because of their color. Maybe we should go back and pay those people for the harm they received when they didn't get what they wanted because of the color of their skin. You see how this goes, ladies and gentlemen? You see where this goes? This is only divisive. Only divisive. And I probably wouldn't even be talking about it today if it wasn't already so prominent. This is something that's been going on in Chicago for years, and other states around the country are beginning to promote these types of payments. And it's only going to be divisive. I'm just telling you, this is not a good thing for our country. And you understand how it all kind of started. It started with these mayors and these governors, how they were kind of, playing to their base, trying to get their votes and their supports. And they tried to walk the thin line to get the support of these people. They would say things like, well, we're not going to tax anybody. It's not going to be tax money. It's going to be donations. People are going to donate out of the goodness of their heart to these funds, and we're going to pay the reparations through these funds. It won't be tax money. So fear not. As if that somehow takes the edge off of my disdain for the concept of reparations, that it's not tax money, still money. But now that's not even the case, because here in Evanston, Illinois, we find out that the money being used for these payments come from sales tax. Sales tax. It's going to be further taxing on people. This is not good, ladies and gentlemen. When you come back, I'm going to finish this. So stay tuned. I'm going to finish it when you come back. You're listening to the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley.
This might be the best match you'll make all year. It's the tax match event at Krause Family Hyundai of Gainesville. We'll match your tax refund or down payment up to $3,000 when you buy a new Hyundai. So if you have $3,000, you end up with $6,000 toward a new Hyundai like the 2026 Palisade. Plus, you get America's best warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, and Hyundai Assurance. Find your match before it ends. Get to Krause Family Hyundai on Atlanta Highway off I-985 in Gainesville, or visit KrauseFamilyHyundai.com for full details.
Has being aimless ever put you at your wit's end? Hi, this is Whit Martin, pastor of Asbury Chapel. There are times in life when we feel aimless, living like we're just wandering through each day and wondering what it is that we should be doing. It's a feeling that means we're searching for purpose, like there's something we know we should put our hands to. The Bible says in Ephesians 2:10, "For we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand, that we should walk in them." Christians find their purpose in the work of God. God has created us to do works that are good in His eyes, and such work rescues us from an aimless and wandering life. We can have confidence about what to do if we put our hands to the work God is doing. If we will search the Scriptures and learn the ways of God, we'll always be able to engage the work of God, driven with purpose and peace about who we are and what we should do. And that is Wit's End. Asbury Chapel invites you to learn more by joining us at 758 Main Street or visit asburychapel.net for more info.
Get breaking news fast. Sign up at accesswdun.com for breaking news alerts via text. Log on to accesswdun.com for details and to sign up. You can also sign up to receive local weather and sports alerts. Get the news first with breaking news text alerts from Access WDUN and North Georgia's News Talk. WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 9:30.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. The FBI following up thousands of tips to 1-800-CALL-FBI over the armed masked man at Nancy Guthrie's door the night she was kidnapped. One washed out overnight when an Arizona delivery driver was detained with a court-order search of a home in Rio Rico, Arizona, and released. A tipster thought his eyes looked like the suspect. The man named Carlos was forthcoming with Fox's Matt Finn.
Terrifying.
something I didn't do for something. I was being like, I felt like I was being kidnapped, bro, because they didn't tell me anything at the beginning.
Investigators kept his phone to make sure he checked out. An unprecedented FAA security order that grounded all flights, including commercial, at Texas El Paso Airport for the next 10 days has been lifted now after warning the U.S. government may use deadly force. Flights are resuming. Congresswoman Veronica Escobar said it caused significant community concern. America's listening to Fox News.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow. A man from Flowery Branch is arrested Tuesday for allegedly murdering his brother Monday night. Hall County Sheriff's Office spokesperson B.J. Williams says deputies responded to Rose Heights Drive off of Cash Road just after 8:30 Tuesday morning.
The suspect in the murder is 36-year-old Christopher Daniel Arthurs, and the victim in this case is his brother, 30-year-old Matthew Clayton Arthurs.
Christopher Arthurs is charged with malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault. Gainesville Civic Center had to be evacuated following a small fire outside of the building at around 1:30 yesterday.
The building was evacuated. Everybody was standing across the street, and we had an awful lot of onlookers trying to figure out what was going on as well. No one was hurt. Everybody's okay. Everybody got out.
Gainesville Parks and Recreation Director Katie Madison. Now, no official cause has been revealed as the fire marshal's office is still investigating. And Jackson County's Board of Education unanimously appointed 2 new members on Friday. Don Clarisi was selected to represent District 5, while Ryan Smoot was appointed to District 3. Both appointees will serve the remainder of the year, with elections for the 2 seats scheduled in November. You'll find more news online at Access WDUN. Now here's your Access WDUN weather forecast.
Good Wednesday morning to you, North Georgia. We continue with scattered light rain showers, becoming partly cloudy later today, which means you're going to see some sunshine. Low 60s for highs this afternoon, mid 30s by early tomorrow. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strano.
In Swanee, 58 degrees. Tallulah Falls, 55. And in Gainesville, 56. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9, WDUN.
On-time service and experience matter for your home's heating and air system. For more than 40 years, Conditioned Air Systems has been North Georgia's solution for residential HVAC installation, maintenance, and repair. Family-owned and operated, we deliver the highest quality service on any brand and model with no hidden fees, promising 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Comfort you can feel, quality you can trust. Visit conditionedairsystems.com to schedule an appointment.
What if my parents suddenly need help? This is Kevin Tharp, elder law and estate planning attorney, and I've helped many people in your situation. With sound advice and planning, there's no reason why you can't help your loved ones as they need extended care late in life. It's up to you, however, to make the first call. Visit my website at kevintharp.com and learn how to get help planning for your family's future.
Use the Access WDUN Talk and Text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
So Evanston, Illinois is going to pay black people money if they were born between, or who if they lived there between, not born, if they lived there between 1919 and 1969. Now, according to the lawsuit filed by Judicial Watch, to date, Evanston has already awarded over $6 million, to 254 black people, all based solely on their race. Now, can I explain something to you real quick? Let me just explain this to you. In 1969, I was, rounded off, 10 years old. 10 years old in 1969. Since 1969 and 2026, I've lived my life in this country, and I have had the exact same privilege of any person Black, white, yellow, green, red, purple. You know, since at least for the last 40 years, you could say. So why would I be deserving of $25,000? During that period of time, there was all kinds of welfare programs, benefit programs, housing programs, technology programs, all kind of comfort, all kind of possible prosperity for anybody who would be willing to work and do their best to the level of their capacity. This, in my opinion, it's immoral, but it's also just wrong. I mean, I reckon immoral does mean it's wrong, but I mean, this is wrong. It's just hard for me to believe that the state of Illinois is going to give money to people solely based on their race, not for any particular egregious harm they personally received. Some of our listeners have been texting in on this subject, and one of our listeners who signed it, Lee in White County, said, I reckon you could argue that reparations were paid by the deaths of over 360,000 Union soldiers who died during the Civil War. If I received reparation payments, maybe I should go find a Civil War family and give them some of that money and say thank you for dying for the cause. I mean, maybe I should do that if I got reparation money. You think that might happen? You think some of these 44 black people who received $25,000 is going to go find a Civil War veteran's family and say, look, here's a little cash for you for helping out. Your great-grandfather fought this war, and here's some money. All right, so let me just play this little take for you from Milton Friedman, a well-known economist. You should know the name. You should know the name. But I want to play this for you because he asked the question, this economist asked the question, why is it that we do noble things with, taxpayer-type money and we get very few positive results? It's a great question. Now listen to this in the context of paying reparations. It's the same thing. Just put on your thinking caps. Will you do that? Will you just pull your car off on the side of the road, find a parking place. If you're walking your dog, get under a shelter if it's raining, and just put your thinking cap on and listen to this economist explain why this kind of thing just never works. It doesn't produce the results that you think it's going to produce. Listen to this.
Why is it that such noble objectives lead to such disappointing results? After all, the objective of promoting the welfare of the ordinary man, of eliminating poverty and disease, providing security for old age and against mishaps of fortune, those are noble objectives. I do not believe that there is anybody who can regard them as undesirable. Why is it that the attempt to effectuate such noble objectives by using the machinery of government tends to produce results which are so disappointing? In my opinion, the fundamental answer is very simple. Using government to achieve these objectives means trying to do good with someone else's money. And when you try to do good with someone else's money, there are two basic flaws in the process. The first of those is that nobody spends somebody else's money as carefully as he spends his own. And therefore you are going to have waste and ultimately fiscal catastrophe. But the second is that you cannot do good with someone else's money unless you first take it away from them. And therefore, force, coercion, sending a policeman around to pick somebody else's pocket, is at the very heart of the welfare state. And the situation becomes one in which bad means corrupt.
Bad means corrupt. I'm reminded of a scripture that says, by the way, bad company corrupts good character. You might want to think about that and put it on your wall. But you understand, whether you're talking about, just welfare type programs or these feel-good programs that the liberal, Marxist, socialists try to promote, or even reparations, you have to understand that when you take someone else's money to do good with it, you're not going to be overseeing the use of that money as much as you would if it were your money, your pocket money. And second of all, you can't do good with someone else's money unless you take it from someone else. See, I'm going to use a name here, and some of you are going to cringe, but Rush Limbaugh was correct many years ago when Rush Limbaugh said the problem with liberals, with Marxists, with socialists, with Democrats, is they just want to feel good. They don't really look at is the program benefiting anyone? Is it beneficial? They just want to feel good. Just feels good. Just give money out the window because it makes you feel good. Don't pay any attention to how you might be doing more harm than good with that particular gift. When the church that I attend began working in the Guatemala landfill, we were all excited to go in and to help them build, basic block houses. They were living in cardboard shacks on dirt floors. And there was huge trash piles everywhere, and we were going to help, and we helped them clean up those trash piles, throw the dirt on the other side of the fence, help them with their block houses. And someone in one of our working groups made the suggestion that we could all go together, throw in $25 a piece, and go rent a bulldozer or a backhoe or a skid steer, and in about 2 hours, clean the whole lot up. Makes sense, right? Made me feel good. Here's $25. Let's go put that with some more and rent a backhoe, and let's clean it up in about 4 hours. Well, we were informed by those that we were helping, the nationals that we were helping, that was a terrible idea. Because what we were doing was we were helping through our gifts and donations to pay for people in the landfill to take their buckets and pick up the trash and throw it over the fence. And there were 25 or 30 or 40 people getting paid $6 a day to do the work. Are you with me? I see some of you, you're already ahead of me. So you're going to bring in a bulldozer, pay one guy, $300 to do the work of 30 guys, and those 30 get nothing now. They'd have no money for the day. You see how it is? It makes you feel good, but it's not always the right thing. And for some of you out there, reparations may make you feel good, but it's not the right thing. And I would encourage anyone listening to my voice today, any black person who gets a reparation check in the mail, I would encourage you to turn around and give it to some charity or some nonprofit that's worthy. Don't keep it. It's not your money. All right, well, we've got lots more to talk about, lots of different stories, lots of different sound bites. We'll move on to some other topics, but I just wanted to start off with that today. 770-535-2911. You can text me your thoughts on my little discussion about reparations. I'm sure we'll talk about it again because it's in the news and it's going to be more and more in the news. Already $6 million. And by the way, real quick, all these liberal courts establish temporary bans on various programs that Donald Trump and the Republicans try to initiate. Some federal liberal leftist judge was, no. We're not going to do that. We're going to study it. It has to go to another court. Well, why hasn't there been a ban on these payments until it could go to the Supreme Court? $6 million has already been paid. It's gone. It's gone. And let me tell you what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of egg on somebody's face when somebody has the bright idea to go back to that $6 million and look at those 257 people who received it and see how better their life is because of it. Somebody's going to be very, very surprised. I'm just telling you. I know what I'm talking about. Listen to me now. All right. We'll talk about some other stories for you today. That may be a little heavy for some of you, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley.
In North Georgia,
it's the topics that matter to me.
We're your eyes and ears in the community with the latest breaking news.
It's the most important thing we face.
AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN. Always here, always local.
When winter weather moves in, we know your family depends on light, warmth, and staying connected. At Georgia Power, we don't wait for the storm to hit. We're here, prepared and ready to respond no matter the conditions. Because keeping your lights on isn't just our job. It's our commitment to every community we serve. Reliable energy you can count on, and a Georgia Power team working around the clock. We're here for Georgia, and we're here for you. Learn more at georgiapower.com/storm.
I'm Frank Norton with the Norton Agency. One thing I've learned in my 42 years in the real estate business is that Americans are not comfortable with haggling and negotiations. We're by and large not a bartering society, but we at Norton do that every day. Our professional advocates' number one priority is to get the buyer or seller the best price. You need Norton now more than ever. Call us at 770-532-0022 or look for us on the web at gonorton.com. Our family is serving North Georgia for 4 generations.
When you have a problem with your roof, you want someone who can respond quickly, but also who knows roofing. That's what you get at Georgia Select Roofing. This is Chris Earls, and we do roofing right. Estimates are free, we can help you navigate your insurance claim, and we also offer financing. Check out our Google reviews and you'll see that Georgia Select Roofing offers the best service around. See us today at georgiaselectroofing.com or call us at 678-316-6899. Family owned and operated, Georgia Select Roofing has you covered.
Discover what makes business thrive in our community at the Greater Hall Chamber Business Showcase, Tuesday, February 24th from 2 until 7 at the Gainesville Civic Center. Meet over 50 local exhibitors showcasing the products and services that power Gainesville and Hall County. The event is free and open to the public, and at 5 o'clock, join us for the new Showcase Social with local light bites and networking. Make plans to attend the Greater Hall Chamber Business Showcase. Find all the details at greaterhallchamber.com.
We're talking with Mike Robertson of Oakwood Tire and More. And Mike, I understand you guys have moved. Where can we find you?
3440 Mabry Road, which is right off of Mountain View.
Still offering the same services?
We won't be doing alignments, but we'll be doing tires. Tires, brakes, batteries, tune-ups, those kind of things that normal maintenance repair.
Sounds good. Give us the address one more time. Make sure we don't miss out.
You can find us at 3440 Mabry Road at oakwoodtire.com or even the same phone number, 770-535-0943.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, race day in Banks County is a phrase that's one step closer to becoming reality. Following Tuesday's Board of Commissioners meeting, details at Access WDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
John Kennedy, the senator from Louisiana. He has some hilarious comments from time to time. And, by the way, before I say that, let me just say this about reparations, and I'll close. Get back with me now. Are you with me? Did you notice that during my whole discussion of reparations, I never said, well, I'm not racist or prejudiced, or I like black people. You know what? Did you notice I never said that? You know why I didn't say it? Because I don't have to say it. That's already true about me. I don't have to preface my remarks about the reparations topic by saying, oh, I like black people. I have black friends. I'm not prejudiced. I was raised in a home that my mother and father taught me to treat everyone equally. I didn't say that in that discussion because I don't have to say it. That's already who I am. I'm not going to give any credence to the fact that, well, maybe I'm saying this because I am racist. Maybe I'm saying it because I don't have any black friends. Maybe I'm saying it because I don't like black people. No. That's not who I am. And if you know Tom Smiley, you know that's not who I am. So I'm not going to say that just to have a discussion about a hard subject. Come on now, get a grip. We can talk about hard topics. We can talk about hard subjects without those type of preference, making those type of references. If you don't know that about me, then there's not a whole lot of positive discussion we can have. I've lived my 68 years, for the most part, certainly not perfect, but for the most part, treating people with respect and kindness, regardless of their economic situation, the color of their skin, or their background. That's how I was taught. So I just wanted to point that out to you. Did any of you notice that? I'm wondering if you're listening that carefully today. I would like to know, did you notice I didn't preference my remarks with those comments? I just wanted to see if you noticed. All right, John Kennedy from Louisiana. He has some great comments from time to time. And this has nothing to do with what we're talking about. It's just a funny clip, and I wanted to share it with you because he says basically this about Governor Tim Walz.
Let me just say a couple of things quickly, Sean. Number one, Governor Tim Walz. Whatever he says, believe the opposite. I'm sorry, the man learned to lie before he learned to talk. He's just a. I can't help it. You crack me up. Well, he's just a less masculine version of Hillary Clinton.
Oh man, Tim Walz learned to lie before he learned to talk. That's John Kennedy. Well, let me turn my attention to something else for you now, because I like to bundle stuff up, and I like for you to really get a good understanding of various topics. And so let me just talk about the Democrat, Marxist, Socialist, Communist Party today. They have really shifted their position on immigration. You know that, right? I don't have to tell you that. They've shifted their position, and it's well documented. Nobody likes to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. But when you look at the Democratic Party of, say, your mother and father, if you're 50 years old or older, or your grandparents, that Democratic Party does not exist. It doesn't, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not being ugly about it. I'm just telling you the truth. I always tell you the truth. That Democratic Party does not exist. Even when they want you to think they exist, they really don't. The lady that won the governorship of Virginia touted herself as a moderate. Everybody got all excited. She's a moderate. She's a Democrat. She's a moderate Democrat. Oh, happy days are here again. And in her first month of office, she has signed the most egregious and leftist and liberal and socialist and Marxist type of executive orders of anybody in the history of that state. She never was a moderate. They don't exist. Now, let's go way back in the archives. Do you remember the name Barbara Jordan? Barbara Jordan was the first Southern black woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. Barbara Jordan. Do you remember that name? Raise your hand if you remember that name. Raise your hand. Barbara Jordan. I see that hand. I see that hand. Very good. Barbara Jordan was a trailblazer when it came to immigration reform. She championed responsible policy. She was a Democrat. Again, she was the first Southern black woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. And this is what she said about immigration, proving my point that the Democrats today have wildly shifted their stance. Listen.
Immigration is not a right guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution to everyone anywhere in the world who thinks they want to come to the United States. Immigration is a privilege. It is a privilege granted by the people of the United States to those we choose to admit. Many American workers do not have adequate job prospects. We should make their task easier to find employment, not harder.
Barbara Jordan. Do you remember her? Now, to further prove my point, here's Bill Clinton's comments on illegal aliens.
Our plan will triple the number of criminal and other deportable aliens deported since 1993. Every day, illegal aliens show up in court who are charged. Some are guilty, and surely some are innocent. Some go to jail, and some don't. But they're all illegal aliens. And whether they're innocent or guilty of the crimes they're charged with in court, they're still here illegally, and they should be sent out of the country.
So that is the key phrase there. Whether they are guilty or innocent of the crimes they are charged with in court, they're still here illegally, and they should be sent out of the country. That was a Democratic president, and that was 31 years ago. What has changed with the Democratic Party?
A lot has changed. You just heard it for yourself. Barbara Jordan, the first Southern black woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, a trailblazer, making comments about immigration and immigration reform. Bill Clinton making comments about illegal aliens having to go back regardless of the crimes they've committed. And you're telling me that this is the new Democratic Party? Well, it is the new one. It's the new worst edition of the Democratic Party. We'll be right back. I'm Tom Smiley, filling in for Martha.
Something new is coming to your neighborhood. This April, Exchange Bank is opening in Brazelton. I'm Anna Hollis, and for over 122 years, we've been Middle Georgia's community bank, offering our personalized service and our commitment to being a place where community matters. Now we're bringing that same commitment to Brazelton. We can't wait to be your neighbor and help your financial dreams grow. Learn more at exch.bank. Exchange Bank, member FDIC.
Are you a fraud-paying American? 1 in 4 tax-paying Americans have been victim of identity fraud. With LifeLock, your identity, if it's stolen, they fix it guaranteed or your money back. And last year, billions in refunds were stolen. Could be from your salary, overtime, or second job. Gone. But this year, you don't need to stay a victim. Because this tax season, fraud-paying American is something no American should have to claim. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. Visit lifelock.com. Terms do apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it. But my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
WDUN Gainesville, WDUN-FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 10 o'clock.
An all clear in El Paso, Texas. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Hours after the FAA canceled all flights to and from the airport there for 10 days, that order was canceled.
The FAA is saying this: there is no threat to commercial aviation. All flights will resume as normal. But this was widespread commercial cargo, all aviation. Nothing like this has happened since 9/11.
Fox Business Network's Lydia Hu. The Trump administration says the airspace was closed after Mexican drug cartel drones breached it, and the military took action to disable those drones. It's day 11 of the search for Nancy Guthrie. And a man detained at a traffic stop in Question in Arizona has been released, telling Fox afterward.
So right now, all I know is that they show my in-law a picture of somebody wearing a mask or something, and they supposedly look like my eyes.
Right. Okay.
That's it. That's all I know.
Fox's Matt Finn interviewed Carlos outside his home in Rio Rico, which investigators also had searched.
Ultimately, Carlos told us he was questioned, asked about his whereabouts. They took his phone, and that's it. He says he's a free man. He wants his name cleared. He doesn't want to be associated with the Guthrie case.
He also talked to Carlos's mother-in-law.
And she actually said that investigators told her that they were tipped off that Nancy Guthrie was being held here. And this is what she said on camera. And she goes, there's no one here. Feel free to enter.
Now, Attorney General Pam Bondi is about to face questions at a House hearing. Democrats may press her in the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation or immigration enforcement. In Western Canada, more than 25 people recovering the day after a school shooting in the small town of Tumbler Ridge. 7 others were murdered, and the female shooter killed herself. 2 others found dead at a home nearby.
We can't imagine what the community is going through. But I know it's causing us all to hug our kids a little bit tighter.
British Columbia Premier David Eby. There was a hiring surge last month, 130,000 jobs, about double what was expected. The unemployment rate fell slightly in January to 4.3%. President Trump on True Social just posted, "The golden age of America is upon us." America's listening to Fox News.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow. The odds of Hall County getting an ICE detention facility have increased this week. WDUN's William Daughtry has this report.
Access WDUN got confirmation from Oakwood City Manager B.R. White that the proposed ICE jail is set to close within 2 weeks. He said the city got confirmation from Representative Andrew Clyde's office on Monday. He added it would feed the Social Circle facility, which was closed on by ICE on Sunday. Clyde gave Access WDUN a statement saying he has been in contact with officials to gather more information, and he remains committed to ICE's mission and the needs and safety of North Georgia.
A man from Flowery Branch is arrested on Tuesday, allegedly for murdering his brother Monday night. Hall County Sheriff's Office spokesperson B.J. Williams said that deputies responded to a home on Rose Heights Drive at around 8:30 Tuesday morning.
The suspect in the murder is 36-year-old Christopher Daniel Arthurs, and the victim in this case is his brother, 30-year-old Matthew Clayton Arthurs.
Williams says investigators believe the victim was wounded late Monday night and then died from his injuries. His body has been transported to the GBI Crime Lab for autopsy. An alleged drug deal turned into a deadly shooting in eastern Gwinnett County Monday. More from WDUN's Caleb Hutchins.
The Gwinnett County Police Department said officers were called to a neighborhood off of Bramlett Shoals Road just east of Lawrenceville and found 17-year-old DeMonte Sears and 17-year-old Luis Hernandez Moreno, both suffering from gunshot wounds. Both were hospitalized, with Sears ultimately dying of his injuries. Hernandez Moreno is reportedly expected to recover. Investigators said Sears and 2 other teens attempted to rob Hernandez Moreno and a 21-year-old man at the alleged drug deal when the meetup turned into a gunfight.
Gainesville Civic Center had to evacuate following a small fire outside of a building at around 1:30 on Tuesday.
The building was evacuated. Everybody was standing across the street, and we had an awful lot of onlookers trying to figure out what was going on as well. No one was hurt. Everybody's okay. Everybody got out.
That's Gainesville Parks and Recreation Director Katie Madison. And when Access WDUN arrived on scene at around 3:30, all of the doors were opened to air out the smoky smell still permeating from the building. No official cause has been revealed. The fire marshal's office is now investigating. More news online at Access WDUN. Now here's your Access WDUN weather forecast.
Good Wednesday morning to you, North Georgia. We continue with scattered light rain showers, becoming partly cloudy later today, which means you're going to see some sunshine. Low 60s for highs this afternoon, mid 30s by early tomorrow. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strano.
In Ellijay, 54 degrees, Sugar Hill with 59, and in Gainesville, 57. From North Georgia's News Talk AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Serving on a nonprofit board is a great way to have a positive impact on our community. United Way of Hall County is helping leaders maximize that impact with their annual Board 101. It teaches the fundamentals of board service, helping to make your service more effective. This series of 3 workshops takes place February 24th, March 3rd, and March 10th from 5:30 until 7 each evening. For more details and to register for Board 101, head to UnitedWayHallCounty.org and help build a better community.
Hey there, it's Cody Lovin, owner of Crawl Space Medic. Is your crawl space giving you trouble? Maybe it's moisture, structural issues, or even foul odors? Don't worry, my team and I, we've seen it all. At Crawl Space Medic, we specialize in crawl space repairs, encapsulations, and basement waterproofing, ensuring your home's foundation stays solid and protected. We're all about delivering top-notch service you can trust with solutions that last. Give me a call at 706-410-2400 or visit crawlspacemedic.com for a free evaluation.
From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show. Talking the issues and filling in for Martha, it's Dr. Tom Smiley on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN. Always here, always local.
Why have Democrats shifted their position so dramatically over the last decade to favor open borders and rampant illegal immigration? Prior to Joe Biden, Democrat President Bill Clinton, his wife Hillary, even President Barack Obama were very clear about the need to enforce immigration laws and deport illegals. There can only be one reason for the dramatic change in course: politics, of course. The Constitution bases congressional and therefore electoral college representation on the number of people in each state, not the number of citizens. Now, true, there are efforts on the left to promote non-citizen voting, prisoner voting, and other ways to swell the voter rolls in their favor. But the most immediate benefit of illegal immigration is how it will impact the decennial census in 2030. Of course, over the course of the last decade, millions of Americans have fled high-cost Democrat-run states. That has decreased the power bases of the Democratic Party in favor of states like Florida and Texas and Tennessee. The latest projections for reapportionment in 2030 show the largest Democrat-run states losing between 8 and 10 congressional seats. That is a big loss of power. The most direct way to counter that population shift is to inject more non-citizens into the census. Waiting around for them to become citizens just takes too long. The census is in just 4 years.
Well, I couldn't have said it any better myself. You do understand that, right? Well, we'll come back and talk more about that later on today and maybe this week. That's a great sound clip. I'll probably play it again because it's very sensible. Very truthful, too. All right, we'll take a phone call here. We've got a couple in the queue, as they say in the radio biz. Steve in Gainesville, welcome to the Martha Zoller Show.
What's going on, Tom?
Hey, friend. You good?
Me and my grandson was riding down McEver Road a year or two ago. You know how kids are. They count cars, and he was counting the warehouse buildings. And he looked at me and says, Papa, why are they building all these warehouse buildings? And he said, most of them seem to be empty. And just a flippant remark, I said, we got to have somewhere to put all the illegals. Wow. I had no idea this was coming. Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard two things that bother me.
Mm-hmm.
That there has to be no hearings from the federal government when they change the usage that it was permitted for.
Mm-hmm.
These warehouses are permitted for, just minimal employees, and now they're going to stick hundreds and hundreds of people in. Who's going to pay for the water and the sewage and everything that has to be upfitted?
That's a very good question. And Steve, to be honest with you, this kind of jumped up on me. I didn't even realize we were in the running for ICE facilities and so forth and so on. And so I've got to look into this more. But I'm really behind the eight ball on this topic right now.
Well, there's got to be money involved, because here's the second part that I'm concerned about. You folks are putting this thing out as a purchase. Closing, purchase. So is the federal government buying these things?
Who's buying them? Yeah, I mean,
they're
great,
talking about a purchase.
Yeah, that's what. When they say closing, they're talking about somebody's paying money.
Wow, I just y'all might want to do some research in fact, because what I heard the mayor or the over in that community where they put one, he clearly stated we don't have the infrastructure for it, and then they turn around and closed on it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So these small communities are in trouble because I don't know where that money's going to come from. Now Gainesville's got a pretty good cash flow in Hall County, but some of these small communities, I don't know what they're going to do.
Steve, that's very insightful. I mean, you've given me something to chew over. If I get time in my busy retirement year, daily, I'll look into that. But yeah, good call. Thank you, Steve. Great call. And maybe some of you out there know the answer to his 2 questions. I've not been following it that closely, so maybe somebody out there is, and you can give me a call, 770-535-2911, or send me a text about it if you know something that can be helpful. All right, another phone call here, all the way to Rayburn Gap, to Alan. Welcome to the Martha Zoller Show.
Good morning, Tom.
Hello.
Man, hey, thanks for having me. So I have a question for you. You know, we're talking about, the ballot box. We're talking about taxpayer money and how it's just corrupt in the political sense, in terms of not being used well, like Milton Friedman said. So my question is this, right? Now, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask the audience to think about it, but I ask myself, is it possible to fix this situation with the ballot box? And as I look around, I go, we have a Republican House, a Republican Senate, we have a Republican president, and the answer is no. The answer is, unfortunately, no. So I think that if we're not there where the ballot box no longer works, we're approaching the point where the ballot box will no longer work. And I fear that being the case, I guess I don't fear. I hope that, broadly speaking, I just hope that white people have some guts, right? Because it seems like all these other groups, I'm going to say the blacks, they fight for reparations, they fight for justice, they fight for all this stuff. Where are the white fathers and the white grandfathers and all the white folks out there who are like, I want to change? Like, do they exist? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Alan, I think you're right about some of those thoughts. I really do. And I don't know that the ballot box can fix it anymore. Not to the way you and I would appreciate it. I mean, fairness, equality, lack of regulation, tax reformation. I don't know that the ballot box can fix it. This is why, Alan, I'll get Bill Crane on at 10:30 today, and I've already asked him once. I'm going to ask him again. I know what he's going to say about the filibuster. I mean, we've got some things right now that need to be passed. That we have the Senate, we have the House, we have the presidency. We need to pass these things, but we're not going to be able to because of the tight margins. And all I hear from the Republicans is, well, we can't pass it because, if we nuke the filibuster, well, the Democrats, they could do it too. Well, they've already said they're going to do it. James Carville already said if they win the Senate, they're going to nuke the filibuster, and they're going to bring in Puerto Rico as a state. They're going to pack the Supreme Court. They're going to make Washington, D.C. a state. They've already said what they're going to do. So why are you worried about what they might do? They've said what they are going to do. So I agree with what you're saying about the ballot box. I don't know if the ballot box can fix some of the problems we have today because we're so blasted divided. I mean, we're so divided.
Yeah, but I don't know that we are. We're not divided on the topic of illegal immigrants should be deported. Like 70 or 80% of Americans are in favor of that, right? Ballot IDs to vote. That's not a questionable thing. And where is our government, our federal Republicans? Where are they?
Yeah.
Like they're nowhere to be found in terms of passing legislation that's meaningful. And here's the thing with the Democrats. When they say they're going to do it, meaning in the filibuster, like Carville said, they will do it.
They will.
They have the will to fight. And what I'm suggesting to you is that conservative white folks in particular do not have the will to fight. And I'm going to give you an example, if I can.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, we were talking about the transgender topic, right? Can you, I'm just imagining, I raised 2 boys, and I can just imagine one of them little rascals walking in the door and saying, hey, Dad, I think I'm a girl. You know what? Okay, so maybe the mom forces me to go to a psychologist, and the psychologist says, "Oh yeah, Mr. Hurd, you gotta take this kid down this transgender route." What dad listens to that and says, "Oh, okay, a psychologist said so, the teacher said so." I could not care less what those people would say, right? Like I'm thinking, good old country folks will be like, "I don't care what all you PhD people say, I know best." Mm-hmm. And that just, like, you look around at the thousands of kids who've had these issues, and I'm not saying there aren't good fathers and mothers out there, but I am saying that there are too many fathers who go, okay, son, if you think you're a girl, we'll go buy you some dresses and take you down to the surgical center. That is emblematic of where so many weak-kneed fathers are, right, like parents. And it's sad.
Alan, you've made some very good comments today. Great call from Rayburn Gap. Very, very, very good call. Appreciate you taking the time to listen and to comment. We'll take another phone call before we take a break. We got to go to Toccoa and talk to Sam. Welcome.
Yes, sir. It's me.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, Mr. Smiley. I'm 60 years old, and I'm hearing what y'all talking about. And, when I was younger, around, when I was born in 65, we didn't deal with wokeness, the parents having, don't want to work, make a living, and all these new ideas is, here today, like wokeness, and, just kind of called it out as that this generation don't want to work hard like we did. Mm-hmm. But, I'm really confused on it actually how to address these people. When I do see them in public, like, I've seen a lot of boys in public wearing girls' dresses, and, I still look at them as human beings and don't want to disrespect them. But I'm an older guy, so I just kind of shy away. I don't even address them because I didn't have to deal with that in my days. We didn't have all these. These are not problems. They're just issues people bringing up to make things harder than they are. Boys are boys and girls are girls. I didn't deal with that when I was younger, and I've actually seen a lot of boys in girls' dresses. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't even tell you how to address one of them if they come up to me. I mean, I would try to speak to them and be, and I'm not downing them. They're human beings just like me. But, seriously, I don't know how this generation, how they address each other, because I kind of just don't even look at the issue because I'm older. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree, Sam. It is difficult. And, I understand. And I appreciate your heart. And you're like me. It doesn't cost anything to be kind, to be respectful of people. And that's what you're saying. But I don't know on what basis to have a conversation. Because in my opinion, and now the opinion of many medical professionals, this transgender confusion, this transgender identity issue, they are psychological issues that I can't fix for you. Now, I believe Jesus could fix them for you, but I don't know if they're willing to turn to him for help in that regard. I understand, Sam. I understand your frustration. I do. I get it. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Martha Zoller Show. Thanks for listening.
Every community thrives on its local businesses. Are you supporting yours? This is Phil Bonelli, the host of North Georgia Business Radio. Each week, I sit down with local business owners for the trade secrets that make their businesses work. Join us Saturdays at 3 on North Georgia's News Talk, WDUN.
This is Mike Cormier, General Manager at Hardy Chevrolet. Some folks think that the automobile business is just about selling cars. At Hardy, we know it's more than just that. For us, it's about helping that young driver with their first car and helping that growing family that needs a bigger car. It's about relationships. It's about family. Drop by for a visit and you'll understand what Charles Hardy always said.
We love you and we need you.
Together, let's drive. At Hardy Chevrolet, Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville, online at hardychevrolet.com.
Full Bloom Nursery is now closed for winter and will reopen for the spring season in March. This is Kelly letting you know that we have services we offer during the winter, including consultation, design services for spring planting, and also pruning and maintenance of your landscape. Winter is a great time to get a head start on planning that beautiful landscape you've been wanting to achieve. Visit our website at fullbloomnursery.com and select the contact button to send us a message and get started on your landscaping goals.
Does your office technology slow your team down? Nothing is more frustrating than printers that jam, copiers that won't connect, and service providers that don't follow through. You and your team deserve technology that works. I'm Matt Nick, president of Duplicating Products, and for over 50 years, we've helped North Georgia offices eliminate bottlenecks, reduce downtime, and get reliable support for office technology. Our promise, we do what we say we will do. If you're tired of office equipment headaches, it's time for a change. Visit us today at duplicatingproducts.com.
Rise and shine with M&R Equipment and Rental. Your project success is our first job of the day. Whether it's landscaping, construction, or home renovation, we've got your back with our wide range of high-quality tools and equipment. We make starting your day easy. Simply pick your tool, choose your rental period, and get down to business. No job is too big or small. From saws to skid steers, we've got you covered and at prices that won't break your budget. Visit us at mnrrental.com. We're here to help you build a brighter tomorrow.
It doesn't matter if you're a homeowner or running a business, waste happens. Your go-to to make it go away? Waste Eliminator. They offer collection, disposal, recycling, and environmental services for business and home cleanout. Visit wasteeliminator.com. Click Order Dumpster, and before you know it, your dumpster is reporting for duty. Yep, it's that easy. Environmentally responsible and committed to customer service. It's Waste Eliminator. See them today at wasteeliminator.com.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, a Flowery Branch man is arrested Tuesday for the murder of his brother at their family's home Monday night. Details at Access WDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
Use the Access WDUN Talk and Text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Stay tuned for the next 7 or 8 minutes because I'm going to share something with you that's really funny in a minute. It goes all the way back to 1992. I'll give you a hint. Dan Quayle. All right. I'm going to use that to talk about a story in just a moment. So stay tuned for that. We've got about 7 minutes left in this segment. But before that, I want to finish up this little discussion about the ICE facility. One of our callers had some very good questions about the ICE facility. Not the cubed ice or the crushed ice. You know what I'm talking about. And Americans are frustrated with this whole immigration concept. And the reason they're frustrated is they look around and they see these other countries having much more severe and strict regulations and consequences when you break their laws regarding immigration, and yet America just doesn't do it. So I just wanted to play this. A great little sound clip, about a minute. Listen to this for a second.
Entering a country illegally. Russia, 2 years in a labor camp. India, 8 years in prison. Australia, up to 5 years in prison and mandatory detention before deportation. Australia, you can't even move there if you want to move there legally without proving your worth. Mexico, up to 2 years in prison for first-time illegal entry. But USA, of course, congrats, you get free housing, free healthcare, free food, and free cash. Deportation is not racist, it's called actions meet consequences. Something that is foreign to so many Americans these days. It's so normal everywhere else. And yet here, we hate the idea that there is punishment associated with a crime. It is truly phenomenal to watch so many minds be molded and transformed into believing that this is a bad thing. Even though, again, all the other countries, it's totally normal. Why are so many people against it here? It's so fascinating. One person said, ironic that Mexico punishes folks for entering their country illegally. Immensely so.
That's why people are frustrated. That's why. And our politicians many of our politicians are willing to do so little about it. It's against the law to enter a country illegally. It's against the law. Go try it somewhere else. Just go try it. All right. Well, I got to share this with you. This is kind of funny. So, State Representative Alan Chesser was talking to and interviewing and otherwise interviewing a sheriff in North Carolina who has been widely known for his anti-ICE rhetoric. This sheriff comes to find out he's not really, well, can I say he's just not that smart? At least not about civic questions. So here's a little take. It's about a minute and a half. But before you criticize me for elevating this audio on this sheriff, remember how poorly a vice president was treated in 1992 because he just slipped up and couldn't remember how to spell potato correctly. He told the little boy there in the spelling bee, add an E to it, son, and you'll do good. And, of course, that was not correct. Do you remember this from 1992?
Spell that again. Add one little bit on the end. Just think of potato. How's it? You're right phonetically. What else? There you go.
Yeah. Dan Quayle said, add one little letter to the end of that potato Spell it out, son. Add the E. And, of course, that was incorrect. Dan Quayle was lambasted for that. So don't call up here and lambast me for bringing this story to your attention about this sheriff in North Carolina who didn't even understand a 5th grade civics question from a senator. I don't care who he is or what he was. He doesn't have the capacity, in my opinion, to be he can't even answer a 5th grade civics question. Listen to this dialogue.
If I were to classify your position as the highest law enforcement officer in the county, would that be a fair description?
That's correct.
Okay. And as such, you made reference earlier that you're a constitutional office. My colleague made reference that there are constitutional divisions amongst responsibilities between us and you. What branch of government do you operate under?
Mecklenburg County.
What branch of government do you operate under, Sheriff?
Constitution of the United States.
Correct. That is what establishes the branches of government. I'm asking which branch you fall under.
Mecklenburg County. I'm a duly sworn Mecklenburg County Sheriff. We answer to the people of Mecklenburg County.
This was not where I was anticipating getting stuck. Are you aware of how many branches of government there are?
No.
Okay. For the sake of debate, I will move on and say there are 3 branches of government: legislative, executive, judicial. Of those 3, which do you believe you fall under?
I believe I fall under the last one.
Would you say it to me?
Judicial.
Okay. You are incorrect, sir. You fall under the executive. And as a member of the executive, what do you believe your primary function is?
Care and custody of those in my custody at the Mecklenburg County Detention Center.
Okay. That is part of what your responsibilities as sheriff are, sure.
And you're gonna criticize Dan Quayle? This guy couldn't even answer the 3 branches of government. There are 3. That's about a 4th grade civic question. I mean, really, Sheriff? And then when he was told what the 3 were, he incorrectly assigned his office to the wrong branch. And you're going to criticize Dan Quayle in spelling potato? I'm telling you, many of these people in the news today do not have the capacity to be in their positions of responsibility. That is the truth. I'll be right back. I'm Tom Smiley.
Start your engines and let's get ready for grass cutting season. Now's the time to visit the guys at Howard Brothers and learn how you can upgrade your Exmark mowing fleet or get your existing fleet in tip-top shape before the work starts. Exmark's Turf Tracer, Radius, Laser, these are all mowers designed with you, the professional landscaper, in mind. You can be confident that your job will be done to perfection with an Exmark mower. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Exmark and Howard Brothers.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Ben Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G coverage. What? Franklin wasn't even a president. Hang on to those Benjamins. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, to switch to an American wireless company that's truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
It all comes down to this, folks. Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
The Super Bowl's in the books. Now it's NASCAR's turn.
It is time to turn the intensity up. It is time to turn the green lights on.
It's the Daytona 500.
Here they come. Green and white. Checkered flag is out. Pay window is open, and Ryan Blaney's going to get there first.
Coverage begins Sunday at 1:30 on North Georgia's home of NASCAR. WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 10:30.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Flights are checking off and landing again this morning at the airport in El Paso, Texas. The FAA had ordered a 10-day ground stop last night.
The temporary closure of airspace over El Paso has been lifted. There is no threat to commercial aviation. All flights will resume.
A Trump administration official tells Fox Mexican cartel drones breach U.S. airspace. The Department of War disabled the drones, adding there's no threat to commercial travel. The man detained and then released by authorities in Pima County, Arizona, and the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie is telling Fox's Matt Finn.
Ultimately, Carlos told us he was questioned, asked about his whereabouts. They took his phone, and that's it. He says he's a free man. He wants his name cleared. He doesn't want to be associated with the Guthrie case.
And President Trump set to welcome Israel's leader Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow. An alleged drug deal turned into a deadly shootout in eastern Gwinnett County on Monday. WDUN's Hamilton Keener reports.
The Gwinnett County Police Department said officers were called to a neighborhood off of Bramlett Shoals Road and found 17-year-old DeMonta Sears and 17-year-old Luis Hernandez Marino, both suffering from gunshot wounds. Both were hospitalized, with Sears ultimately dying of his injuries. Hernandez Marino is reportedly expected to recover. Investigators said Sears and two other teens attempted to rob Hernandez Marino and a 21-year-old man at the alleged drug deal when the meetup turned into a gunfight.
Access WDUN has confirmed from Oakwood City Manager B.R. White that the proposed location for an ICE jail is set to close within 2 weeks. He said the city heard from Representative Andrew Clyde's office on Monday. The expectation is for the warehouse to be operational within a couple of months, according to White. And race day in Banks County is something many have been waiting to see, hear, and even feel for 5 years. And Tuesday night, Banks County's commissioners brought that phrase one step closer to being reality.
Motion by me, second by Danny, to approve CU 2605 with the condition that no cars should be on track before noon on Sundays.
That's the board voting to approve the reopening of the 318-acre parcel through an IHRA permit request. No word yet from IHRA officials when they hope to have the track up and running. More news online at Access WDUN. Now here's your Access WDUN weather forecast.
Scattered light rain showers, becoming partly cloudy later today. Some sunshine. Low 60s for highs this afternoon. Mid 30s by early tomorrow. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strano.
In Tiger, 55 degrees, Decula, 59, and in Gainesville, 58. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Winter days have me dreaming of sunny, warm shores and great times with friends around the table. That's why I'm looking forward to teaming up with Colette and Peach State Bank and Trust to head to Portugal with you this fall. It's Bill Main inviting you to join us as we enjoy multiple nights in charming Porto and the amazing Algarve coast. We'll walk the cobblestone streets and cruise the scenic Douro River, from the colorful capital of Lisbon to the stunning whitewashed villages of the Algarve. We'll savor wonderful foods, bask on beautiful beaches, and even tour a family-owned cork factory. If you missed the recent informational meeting we had with Colette, fear not, it's not too late to find out more and to get signed up. All you need to do is log on to WDUNTravels.com for all the information. You can even sign up there, or call Colette at 800-581-8942. Get your questions answered and then get on board with us September 28th as we head for Portugal. Presented by Colette, Peach State Bank and Trust, and North Georgia's News Talk, WDUN.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Welcome back to the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley filling in for Martha. She should be back, perhaps, we hope, Monday. She's doing very well. As you know, she had a heart attack last week, but she is doing good. Matter of fact, she's going back to the doctor today. So we are trusting the best for Martha. All right, let's go to the phone because I've got my friend. To know him is to love him, as I say. Mr. Bill Crane. Welcome, Bill.
That is a matter of opinion, but I'm glad it's your opinion, Dr. Son.
I enjoyed my lunch. You did good. However, I didn't eat enough. I was hungry when I got home, so I think
Well,
I'm
you
gonna...
didn't have the hamburger or the steak you said you were going to have. You can't fault me that you made a tuna salad or chicken salad choice.
I know.
Good sandwich, though.
We're going to the hamburger place next. All right, Bill, I've got a question for you. Remember a week or two ago, I played a tape. I played some audio that talked about Democrats hemorrhaging voters. 30 states that do voter registration, they're all losing Democrat voters. And if I remember correctly, you said, I don't know, that's not really that important. You're probably still going to lose the midterms. Here's another.
Because of enthusiasm and because of the number of people that are becoming independent. Those are the two issues that offset the loss.
So here's another audio, just about that's 30, 40, 50 seconds, about how the low approval ratings that Democrats are facing. Listen to this. I want to get your take.
Democrats, in the minds of the American public, are lower than the Dead Sea. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look. The net approval rating for Democrats in Congress, you said it, Kate Baldwin, the lowest ever. Look at this. Overall, they are 55 points underwater. Their approval rating is south of 20%. It's even worse when you look at independents. Look at this. Negative 61 points. That means that their approval rating is 61 points lower than their disapproval rating. Quinnipiac has been polling this question for the better part of the 21st century. They have never found Democrats, at least those in Congress, in worse shape than they are right now.
Bill, so how in the world are we going to lose? I say we. How in the world are the Republicans going to lose the midterms with that kind of report?
Well, remember, at this point, there is only a 3-vote majority, Republican over Democrat. And most of the more contested seats in a body that typically rescinds or reelects, 98% of its body, are in urban jurisdictions. There are now 50 members of the U.S. House. Almost 30 of those are Republicans who are not seeking re-election. Now, in Georgia, we have 4 that are 2 running for other offices and 2 leaving the body. Marjorie Taylor Greene and just announced last week over on the
Loudermilk
area.
Loudermilk.
Yes, Barry Loudermilk.
Right.
So that is almost a third of our congressional delegation with some seniority leaving. And in other states, the same. And then on the Democratic side, the departures are fewer and the retirements are fewer. Now, one of the things that the Democratic Party leadership really needs to pay attention to, and it is getting away from them, is the seniority of their members who just will not leave the body.
Mm-hmm.
Republicans have them too. Mitch McConnell, the senator from Iowa, Charles Grassley, who's at 92.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a clamoring among the Democrats who are Democrats for a generational change in younger leadership. So neither party is in a great position right now. It's more like who's in the worst position as it relates again to what independent voters are going to do. And because the fastest growing segment of identified voters are neither party, nobody fights for them because the primaries are what leads off and you're fighting for the base. But people will start looking at that about Labor Day. Hey, what are the non-aligned independent voters thinking? And that's where I believe the GOP is vulnerable.
So we're talking to Bill Crane, who is a political analysis and commentator. Great guy. Has a weekly syndicated column, One Man's Opinion. He's a regular guest here on Martha Zoller. So, Bill.
And y'all carry a column on Access WDUN.
Yes. So, Bill, I just don't understand how the independents, are they really independent? Because, I'm not a registered Republican, never have been. So, I call myself an independent. But I would never vote for a contemporary Democrat today. I would never vote because of what they stand for. So are independents really independent when you look at what Democrats stand for? Late-term abortion.
Well, they're not a monolith. So you have, and several pollsters do this very well. Quinnipiac is one of them. Do you lean Republican or lean Democrat?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a single-issue voter, meaning life or taxation, or is there one issue that brings you to the polls? Could be, for example, immigration for this election cycle and how it's being handled. Are you a regular voter? Because a significant percentage of independent voters don't vote on a regular basis. They get either moved positively or negatively, happiness or angriness.
Mm-hmm.
at a particular candidate, campaign, or issue motivates and brings them to the polls. And so the Democratic Party, I don't see a lot to brag about at this point. They're starting already to have the battles internally over who their presidential standard bearer will be. Some say it'll be Vice President Kamala Harris again. Some believe it'll be the governor of California, Gavin Newsom. Some believe it might be some more generational change agents like Andy Beshear of Kentucky or Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania. But nobody knows, and those factions are already starting. But they're a ways ahead. We're looking at a governor's race, a Senate race, and in Georgia, multiple congressional seats. There's really only 2 congressional seats that I think are at risk of losing. Their incumbents losing. One of them is a Democrat, David Scott, and the other are a couple of Republicans whose numbers are softening. Rich McCormick has not really built a bulletproof constituency in a wobble district, and by that I mean it's a pretty even Republican versus Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the Georgia delegation, despite some of them having been in the body for 30-plus years, like Sanford Bishop, don't appear to have serious opponents.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a number of factors. GOP has more senior incumbents retiring or seeking other office. GOP has more leaving the body, and the majority is only 3. So it's very easy in the normal dynamics of a midterm, which favor the party out of power with the White House, to win the House. I think the Senate remains in 2026 in Republican hands.
So we hear a lot about the quality of candidates. You know, I remember hearing that, especially in regards to the Republicans. We like Herschel Walker was commenting. He wasn't a quality candidate, et cetera, and et cetera.
I wouldn't have run him for Senate, but I think Herschel is a quality candidate. It's just you got to match him with the right office, and he's got to have good staff.
So what about Jasmine Crockett? By the way, no relation to Davy Crockett. I mean, is she the best the Democrats have to run in Texas? I mean, she's a lunatic. Is she a good candidate?
There are a lot of candidates that if I get to say exactly what I think on the air, I would not seek or run for dog catcher. But it is a free country, and there got a handful of them in the district that you reside in that are running of the field of now 21 running for Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat. There are several that I think have no business seeking an office of member of Congress, but our Constitution requires they be 25 years old. They be a resident of the state which they intend to represent for a period of a year, and they be a U.S. citizen, and that's it. That's the resume and requirements to seek office, not to win, but to seek office in Congress. So, yeah, I think both parties could be doing a better job of candidate recruitment. But as we discussed at lunch, it's become a blood sport. Do you want to put your family, your children, your business, your livelihood, your reputation through a process where with an AI ad that isn't you, they can put words in your mouth, with a flyer that can go to your church members and your family. I'm not saying there are not good people who will continue to seek lives in public service, but it gets more challenging by the year.
Which political party's base will put up with and elect the poorer candidate?
Poorer by a financial standpoint?
No, poorer by capacity. Ability.
I don't know that you can draw a line or a rule around that. I would say that I've seen imbeciles in both parties elect or nominate first weak candidates and then watch them win. And finances always matter, as does organization, but they are not, no pun intended on the Trump name, they are not the Trump card anymore. Donald Trump was outspent by Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump was heavily outspent by Kamala Harris, and yet won both races by substantial sums. And on the state, Brian Kemp was substantially outspent by Gainesville native Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle, and Casey Cagle won the primary, but only by a plurality, and then with circumstances we won't rehash today, in the runoff he only carried 2 counties, and Brian Kemp, the underdog, became governor. So if there was an easy formula that I could give every candidate and say, do this and you win, I wouldn't be talking to you. I would own my own island, and I would play all the elections in Vegas like it's a sports book, and I'd be set. So I can give you the guidelines, and I can tell you what generally works best, but there's no guarantees.
We're talking to Bill Crane, political analysis and commentator, just a generally good guy. But one last question for you, and that comes under the category of does it matter? And so here's a question, does it matter? John Osloff put out a email that said, if you're going to come to my event, be sure to bring your ID because it has to match exactly the name on the invitation. You got to have your ID.
Hilarious.
But on the other hand, what he's really saying is you have to have an ID to come to my event to hear me talk about why you don't need an ID to vote in the election. So Bill Crane, political commentator, analyzer. Does that matter? I mean, that is really ridiculous. I mean, that's stupid for him to say. Will anybody care that he said that?
Well, the reason he's saying it is he doesn't want a room full of people who are not supporters of him or were not invited by him to come and razz and, basically give him grief from the audience or to hold up placards and, haze him from the stage. When he's on stage on the microphone, he wants a friendly audience, and that's increasingly, unfortunately, what all political parties seek, even in their town halls. They say they want to hear from the public, but when people get riotous or start making noise that doesn't support them, they escort them from the chamber. I will say this about the Democrats and that particular irony or hypocrisy. In the 2020 election, when Joe Biden was not yet the nominee, and when he actually had come out of the gate pretty roughly and didn't look like he was going to make it through the election, he was well back in the pack in Iowa. And the Iowa caucuses, which the Democratic Party, not the Secretary of State, not the state of Iowa, administered, only had a universe of 125,000, 150,000 votes. And they had walk-up and same-day registration, but you had to have ID. And then they did the caucuses, which are held in gymnasiums and churches all around the state. And interestingly, they had several thousand more votes cast than they had people registered. And so to the point that when Barack Obama said, get out of the way for Joe, the race was still undecided between Bernie Sanders and Mayor Pete, who were both within their rights claiming victory based on the counts and recounts, when they had more people who voted than there were registered and whose ID were checked by a party that generally opposes voter ID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Bill, I just really appreciate you. I look forward to filling in with Martha on Wednesdays because I know you're going to be my guest, and I just really appreciate your insight. Bill Crane, political analyst, commentator. You can check him out. Check out his website, syndicated column here on WDUN, Access Georgia, entitled One Man's Opinion. And as you told me, it is one man's opinion.
It gets me out of some scrapes anyway. We'll get you a double cheeseburger that next one.
I look forward to it. Thank you, Bill. God bless. Take care. Yeah, man. Good guy, Bill Crane. Had lunch with him. We just chit-chatted over there at the lunch. Had lunch, and you know how you just like some people? I just like him. Yeah, I mean, I just really do. I like Bill Crane. Don't always agree with him, and I didn't get to the question that we don't have agreement on. I'll do that next time. We'll talk about that. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with a nuclear filibuster. We don't agree on that. But nonetheless, I like Bill Crane. All right, we're going to take a break. I've got some other good audio to kind of close out the day with you. I hope you stay tuned for that. It's some good stuff. You need to hear it. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Martha Zoller Show.
And the schools and the agents, they have ruined college sports. It's insane.
It's Todd Starnes weekdays at noon on North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
When you have a problem with your roof, you want someone who can respond quickly, but also who knows roofing. That's what you get at Georgia Select Roofing. This is Chris Earls, and we do roofing right. Estimates are free, we can help you navigate your insurance claim, and we also offer financing. Check out our Google reviews and you'll see that Georgia Select Roofing offers the best service around. See us today at georgiaselectroofing.com or call us at 678-316-6899. Family owned and operated, Georgia Select Roofing has you covered.
Did you know that one of Georgia's 9 regional food banks is located right here in Hall County? The Georgia Mountain Food Bank collects and warehouses donated food and distributes it to more than 65 feeding partners and meal serve sites across our 5-county service area of Hall, Dawson, Lumpkin, Union, and Forsyth counties. Learn more about our mission and how you can make sure that people in our community have the food they need to thrive. Visit gmfb.org.
Nobody wants to talk about septic services until there's a problem.
We're here to help. At SNS Septic, we are here 24 hours a day to help when you need us.
As a 4th-generation business, we know that SNS Septic is the one to call for pumping, repairs, installations, and more. We cover residential, commercial, and government projects. If you have septic or plumbing problems, call us.
That's right. You can find us on the web at septicga.com.
Call SNS Septic today to set up an inspection of your system and have everything taken care of before it all hits the fan.
Ah, The most beautiful time of year is upon us. Tax season. And TaxSlayer is here to help you file. We guarantee 100% accuracy and your maximum refund. Those are some good numbers. And you can trust me, because I'm a talking calculator. Did I mention TaxSlayer even has support from real US-based humans if you have any questions along the way? Beat the rush and start for free today. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, a small fire near the dumpster area outside of Gainesville Civic Center evacuated the building Tuesday afternoon. Details at Access WDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
Use the Access WDUN Talk and Text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Welcome back to the Martha Zoller Show. Tom Smiley filling in for Martha. Hopefully she'll be back Monday, and she is doing very well from her recent health issue. She can talk to you more about that when she gets here. But we look forward to Martha being back. I know many of you miss Martha. All right. Well, I want to do this real quick. This is just a brief video audio. It's the one on common sense, right? Yeah. And this is Wesley Hunt, who is running for, I believe, senator in Texas against John Cornyn, which I don't. And I think also Abbott is running. I'm not sure. But I like Wesley Hunt. I like how he speaks. I like what he talks about. He does make a lot of good sense, and I would probably vote for him if I were in Texas. But he made a comment or two about just common sense when it comes to immigration, just common sense. Give me your take on this.
So let me get this straight. You have somebody that broke federal law by entering this country illegally, and then they harmed and or maimed an American citizen. They got put in prison, and so they're here illegally. They are in prison, and who's paying for this? The American taxpayer is paying for somebody who is illegal, that is in prison, and then now we want to make sure that they go back to their country of origin. That is simple common sense. What I have discovered in this world is that, especially in terms of Democrats and liberals, is that common sense is simply not so common. They should have been cooperating with this administration from the very beginning. And I always harken back to the Obama days. He used ICE, but yet nobody did anything and no one said anything because he was a Democrat. And so now that we have the Trump administration in office, now you want to fight this administration tooth and nail in order to score some political points going into the midterm election. So again, I'm glad they are finally coming around to this idea of going into jails and getting illegal immigrants out of prison to stop maiming and harming our fellow Americans. But this should have happened from the very beginning.
Exactly right. It all should have happened from the beginning. You'd have 2 less dead people in Minnesota if the local authorities, the governor and the mayor, had just allowed the law to be followed. There'd be 2 less dead people. Are you with me? I see that hand. It's just common sense. We have laws. We are a nation of laws. If you don't like the law, then vote it out and put another one in. But not the way that the radical, lunatic, Marxist, socialists are doing it in Minnesota. That's a shame. Very, very much a shame. Representative Gill, that's the name that's been in the news lately. He is, I can't remember even where he's from, but he has been on many of the hearings. He asks some great questions about stuff. He's really, I think, very bright. And I love the way he forms his questions and he makes his comments. He's matter of fact. He doesn't get angry, doesn't get in your face. He's just matter of fact. And I came across this audio of him talking about the Minnesota Somalian households. You know, we hear about what a wonderful contribution the hundreds of thousands of Somalians are making. But is that really the case? Or is that hyperbole? Is that made up? Is that fake news? Well, Representative Gill gets down to some hard brass tack facts in his interview of this expert witness when it comes to the difference that Somalians are making in their communities. Listen to this.
Let me ask you, does large-scale Somali immigration make Minnesota stronger or weaker?
Certainly stronger.
Certainly stronger. Do you know what percentage of Somali-headed households in Minnesota are on food stamps?
No.
54%. Do you know what that number is for native Minnesota-headed households?
Well, to be clear, a majority of the...
It's 7%. There's a big difference between 54% and 7%, is there not?
Excuse me, sir, could I answer the question?
Let me move on. We've got a lot of questions here. What percentage of Somali-headed households in Minnesota are on Medicaid?
I don't know.
It's 73%. Do you know what that number is for Minnesota native households?
Again, you're using the phrase Minnesota native households, but the majority...
The number is 18%. That's quite an astounding difference. I think we would agree.
Can I answer the question, please?
Let me ask you one more, and then we can go on to that. What percentage of Somali-headed households are on welfare in general?
I don't know.
It's 81%. What about, let me just ask you, after 10 years of being in the United States, what percentage of Somali immigrant households continue to be on welfare?
I don't know.
The number is 78%. So even after 10 years, 78% of Somali immigrant households continue to be on welfare. Do you know what that number is for native Minnesota-headed households?
Again, you're using
non-Somali immigrant-headed households.
If I can just answer the question, when you're using the phrase native Minnesotans, the majority of Somali Minnesotans are as Minnesotan as any of us. They were born in the United States. It's only 8,000 of the 108,000 Somalis.
And nevertheless, the welfare usage is astoundingly different. Let me ask you again, does that make Minnesota stronger or weaker?
Again, I'd like the opportunity to answer the question here. Again, the majority of Somali Minnesotans are born in the United States, as I understand it.
Okay, well, what percentage of working-age Somalians who have been in the U.S. for 10 years or more, how many of them speak English very well?
I don't know.
About half. The answer is about half. That seems pretty low, doesn't it?
Again, I keep trying to...
It doesn't sound like something that makes our country stronger to me, and I think most Americans would agree with me on that.
31-year-old Brandon Gill. He is Texas' 26th Congressional District Representative. And I love his style. I just love his style. Because when Democrats interview Republican-type people and get interrupted, they go ballistic and go crazy and demand their time and etc. But not Brandon Gill. He's just very, very calm. And he's very, very factual. All right. Good day to you all. I've enjoyed being with you. I'll be back tomorrow. I am Tom Smiley.